Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be among you this morning, to see all your faces. There are a few things that I get to do in my life these days that fill me up with joy as much as just getting to feel connected with people. And, it's been a difficult thing to accomplish sometimes, but thanks to technology and the willingness of many people to do service for this community, we get to do this today. So thank you to everyone who has worked to keep the services going and to make today's service possible. So I've come here to talk about being willing. And I thought about it, and I think I can do about 30 seconds on this. So we might get to the picnic early. Basically, today I am willing because that is about what I can do. Thanks for coming. So a few years back, I had an experience where I had a voicemail on my phone, and it was from this person that was like a corporate headhunter type person that was contracting for a company that's a direct competitor to the company that I work for, that I had been working for since I graduated college. And they called me because they said that they thought that I fit the idea of this open position that this competitor had for a new department that they were trying to start up at their office over in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And this was the first time that anything like that had happened since I had kind of got out of college and joined the workforce. And there was this kind of swirl of emotions and ideas and excitement and fear like you wouldn't believe, and going into the future thinking about like, okay, what if this happens? Like, thinking about like having to sell our house and move to a different state, to a place that we've never been before. And, so at that time I kind of did the things that I knew how to do. I talked with people, I prayed, I did what I had to do to invite the spirit of God or a higher power or creator or whatever we want to call him, her, into that decision and into that situation. And what came to me was all I could really do was say yes and continue seeing where the road was going to lead. Or I could say no, and that was final. Like that was going to shut everything down and the experience would be over. And so I said yes, and that led to some phone calls and some interviews, and I kept saying yes, and even though I was afraid, even though I didn't know what was going to happen. Well, I'm still here, so that's an indication that what happened was that it was, I didn't get the job. It was determined that, and I think I had come to this conclusion a little bit beforehand, that it just wasn't going to be a good fit anyway. But today I get to look back on that experience as a gift because it taught me a few things. It taught me that, number one, it gave me an appreciation for the job that I have, for the company that I work for, because through the process of saying yes and doing interviews and researching this potential employer, I learned about them and how they do business and some good things and some things that didn't really appeal to me, and it gave me the ability to understand that I was where I needed to be and where I wanted to be. But it also cemented this idea for me of, in most situations, I pretty much have two options. I can say yes and continue to see what's going to come, or I can say no, and then that's typically the end of my involvement. And so I, how that relates to the topic of this month and I am willing is. That like basically, yes and no is I'm willing or I'm not willing to take this chance, to pursue this opportunity, to embrace a change. And that's continued to serve me, over the past few years and continues to serve today. When situations always kind of come down the pipe. Life keeps coming at us, and what I've found is that multiple times, whether it's an argument, conversation, fight between some friends, some family members, myself and a friend or family member, myself and my wife, whoever, many of these situations, what I've noticed is that they always come from this same set of circumstances where, two or more people have differing views or differing things that are inside of them trying to get out. And we get so wrapped up in trying to make sure that whoever we're talking with or whoever we're working with is hearing what we're trying to get across and trying to say, that everybody's talking and nobody's listening. And so I found that if I can show up to those situations with a willingness to listen first before I try to get my thing across, it totally, 9 times out of 10 will short circuit the entire potential argument or potential for conflict, because at the end of the day, what I need is to feel like I'm being heard, to feel like I'm being acknowledged as a fellow spiritual being in a human body sitting here. And so if that's what I need, then I can make a pretty good guess that that's what a lot of us need. And if I can give that to somebody first, then it's amazing how much more receptive people are to listen to what I have to say if I've given them that opportunity first. Another, I think I've talked before about kind of the Michael Panique, 3-step plan to joy and spiritual experiences through life, which is, number 1, show up. Number 2, be willing to serve. And number 3, have no expectation about any outcome. So this is, an integral part of how I try to live my life today, which is, showing up, being in the room, being present for the people that I love, for the people that I care about, for situations where I think that my presence might have a chance of being helpful. But the second part, the part that ties into, I feel like, the power of will and our ability to be willing is, to want to do service for my fellows. All of us being equal as divine beings, as children of a loving God, that I get to take care of you, and you get to take care of me. And we do that by being willing to serve in whatever way is necessary. And this, it took me a while to kind of understand what that meant, or to kind of embrace that, because I have this head that that's full of ideas and that is constantly telling me that that's what people need from me. Like I need to show up and be the ideas guy, or I need, I show up with this thought of like, here is how I can help, which is probably like a 50-50 chance of actually being right, actually being helpful. And the reality is, if I can show up and just be willing to do what's needed, be willing to listen, be willing to, let the people who I want to be of service to let me know the way in which I can serve best, then it goes way better. And I get so much more joy out of it. There's no, frustration and resentment or feeling like I'm, not doing what needs to be done. And that's been the key of kind of that part of my experience is letting go of the old ideas, or the need to be right, the need to be doing what I think I need to be doing, and embracing the idea that I can be of the highest service by just letting someone else kind of run the show, and being humble, being willing to do anything from making the grand strategy to sweeping the floor to scrubbing the toilet. Like there's no there's no job too big or too small that can't be accomplished by enough of us working together with a loving spirit involved. And the other thing, I think, maybe the last piece of it is, for me, being willing to embrace change with an open heart, because I don't know about you guys, but for me, change is super scary. I like things the way they are. I get my life the way I want it, and I want it to stay that way, and it never does. That I think can at times, it drives me, and can take me to this unloving place, or it takes me to this place of all of a sudden I need you to do things a certain way in order for me to feel okay, in order for me to feel like I'm enough, in order for me to feel like I'm loved. And we're a lot of things as humans, and one of those things is imperfect at showing love. And so the chances are that if I'm relying on you to make me feel loved in the way that I need to feel it, it's going to lead to disappointment. It's going to lead to resentment. It leads to frustration, because you just can't do it right for me. And when I let go of that, when I embrace this idea that things aren't going to go my way, things are going to change, and when I open myself to have that trust that we're children of a loving spirit, we're part of that divine presence. It wants our best good together and individually at all times, and it doesn't make mistakes. Then I don't have to worry about it. Then I get to be at peace, because that fills me with a certainty that the future holds this or something better. And so if things are changing, then I get to trust that they're changing for the best. And then it allows that openness to be in my heart, to express itself to my friends, my family, my community, all of you that I love. And there's nothing in my life today that's more important than that. And So to have the ability to do that, it means everything to me. And the key to that is, showing up on a day-to-day basis with that openness, with that willingness to embrace change, willingness to listen, willingness to show love in the face of whatever may be coming back in my direction. And I don't know how long it's been. I don't want to ramble. So I think I'm going to leave it at that, and we will go into a meditation. So I just want to invite everybody to let ourselves kind of slide into a quiet place with our bodies, with our minds. Just feel our muscles relaxing. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly as the tension falls from our shoulders and arms, legs, neck. As the thoughts come through our minds, we acknowledge them and let them drift on by. They'll come back. They always do. As we relax, breathe in, breathe out. Allow our consciousness to settle inside. Feel our awareness feel it join and synchronize with the divine pulse, the vibrating energy that lays on top of and inside of and connects all of our cells and all of our body parts and all of our awareness together in one spiritual being. Feel that divine vibration, and then use our imagination to see it as maybe the bud of a flower, maybe a rose or some other, whatever your favorite flower is. See your divine self as that flower opening wide to the warmth of a comforting star, a sun. Shining on the petals of the opening flower with love and light, peace and warmth. And feeling that warmth and light reflecting off out in many directions. Understanding that all of those paths of light reflecting off of us represent the future, extending out in love, and peace, warmth, and light. Feel our divine selves embracing the future, filling it up with our faith, with the faith that our divine love flowing through us and being shared with each other and with our community can and will bring us peace and bring us joy. Now, we'll let our consciousness and our awareness return to our body, relaxed and ready to come back to this place. Thank you. Amen. Okay, and if we're all ready, I believe now is the time when I'd like you to join me in our prayer for protection, and then we will sing the peace song. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.